This weekend Freeway series as the Dodgers come off of the road, having taken 3 of 4 from the Padres, and now for the first time this season alone in first in the West. Arizona's on an East Coast trip. They are up 2-1 in the 7th inning in Atlanta. We'll keep tabs on that one as this one gets going. Joe Davis or Hershiser, Alana Rizzo joins us in a moment. And a team that was 10 games below 500 in mid-May now finds itself final weekend of the first half in first.
There was always a belief from Dave Roberts is this is where they would end up, an anticipation from the fans that they would end up here too, but now the reality is here, and I think it's a motivation for the team.
Another boost coming tonight. Walker Bueller, who is putting together a Rookie of the Year type campaign, but a month on the disabled list, comes back to start tonight.
Yeah, he took a shot to the ribs, and that really put a dent into his season. He came and was a hero to this rotation, but this shot right here ended up putting him ultimately on the DL. He toughed it out in the game. He toughed it out the next game, but he had to go on the DL. Came back, had a relief appearance. That was kind of rough. So they built him up in the minors and with a simulated game, and now he is back in the rotation, and they are glad to have him.
So that's one of the headlines tonight, but stealing the headlines today, Alana Rizzo is the Silver Fox.
Yeah, Chase Utley, Joe, announcing this afternoon about 3:15 that he will in fact retire at the end of this 2018 season. Certainly no shortage of teammates that wanted to play tribute.
We were just talking about, I don't know if I've ever respected any teammate more than you respect him, the work he puts in, you know, the type of person and player he is. And so for him to have this moment today and to be able to kind of enjoy the rest of the season and hopefully go out a champion, you know, it's going to be a lot of fun. You know, it's all these guys in here are going to relish these last few months with him.
A lot of emotion and a lot of praise from Chase's teammates, but make no mistake about it, guys. Chase is here to make sure that this team gets back to the World Series and hopefully win one more before he hangs it up.
Has that one with the Phillies and trying to finish his career in style. What a career it's been. And we'll talk plenty of Chase Utley tonight and moving forward this season. The Dodgers and the Angels, game 1 of this weekend series to wrap up the first half with the first pitch just around the corner. Now 10 days, and the Angels winning 2 of 3 in Anaheim last weekend, stealing one in the 9th on Friday night. Dodgers even the series behind Ross Stripling and Yasiel Puig on Saturday, but then the Angels again winning late to take the series on Sunday with a pinch hit home run from Shohei Ohtani, who will be limited to pinch hit duties in this one with no designated hitter in the National League ballpark. We talked about the shadows as a big part of the issue last week. That shows up in the numbers offensively, with the two teams hitting below 200 over the weekend, and both scoring just 8 runs total in those 3 games.
Yeah, we had a 7 o'clock start and 2 5 o'clock starts, and you know, we saw Yasiel Puig hit his home run on Saturday that really boosted the Dodgers offense. Well, the comment as he came back around through home plate from Matt Kemp was, he's the only guy on the team that can hit the ball over the fence when you can't see the ball.
Yeah, it was something, as bad as they've seen this season as far as the game times and those shadows, as Walker Bueller gets ready to go with his first start in more than a month, and it sure is good to see him back on that Dodger Stadium mound.
Welcome back to the rotation. We haven't seen him since June 8th, and Walker Bueller continues to grow as a pitcher and as a man, and the biggest growth that we've seen since he's gone into the rotation is the addition of more sliders, more of a command pitch. The curveball was much better in the minors, but those guys aren't as disciplined as the big league hitter. The slider has worked better up here.
It is Cole Calhoun to lead things off against him. Bueller winds and deals, and off we go with a fastball strike at 95. Hit by 108-mile-per-hour line drive on May 21st, and still started 3 games after that with a microfracture in his rib cage before the pain just became too much. That's lifted to center. Andrew Tolles with his Dodger Stadium debut in 2018 puts it away, 1 gone. And Walker would tell you that once that injury is healed, once you get the strength back to your arm, you pretty much don't realize it anymore, don't even notice that you had injured it. Tried to come back earlier as he touched down off of the top with the 5 runs in 1 inning, and it was kind of a failed experiment to have him rehab in a relief outing. So they shut it down and ramped him back up to be able to make this start. 1 out, Andrelton Simmons. 1 ball, no strikes.
Ribcage injuries to any athlete, somebody who's up there twisting and trying to hit a baseball with the bat, or trying to twist and torque your body and throw a baseball firmly.
Line drive to left, and Simmons with a 1-out hit, first base runner of the night.
This Angel offense has been looking to try and get people on in front of Mike Trout. Their leadoff position has been anemic, and they moved Trout from the 2-hole to the 3-hole just to find a way to maybe Simmons can get on like he did right there.
And like he has a bunch this season, he's hitting above 300. So Trout does find himself up there with a man on base. Somehow, he's even better this year. Still just 26 years old. He'll be headed to his 7th All-Star game next week. Bueller starts him with an off-speed pitch that falls in for a strike. It'll be his 7th trip to the All-Star game. He'll be starting for the 6th consecutive year. And he's out in front as far as that MVP race goes, trying to win his 3rd. That fastball just barely missed, according to Larry Vanover, to even the count up.
It's probably a surreal matchup for Walker Bueller to face Mike Trout. I can remember facing Mike Schmidt or Pete Rose or some of the heroes that I grew up in. These guys are close in age. Mike Trout has accomplished so much at 26, but I would think as Walker's coming up through the minors, he's like, can't wait to face Mike Trout. Normally it's a guy like a Chase Utley or somebody, you know, somebody that's been around and they're 35 or something. But Trout is the guy if you're like a young guy coming up and you get to face him.
Yeah, the age difference is only 3 years, but Trout's been in the bigs for 8 years. Ground ball past to diving Hernandez, and Simmons will head to 3rd. They're at the corners with 1 away. So when Mike Trout made his major league debut, Walker Bueller was 15 years old and a sophomore in high school.
Yeah, it's Walker Bueller, 15 years old, dreaming about being a big leaguer someday, watching the growth of Mike Trout as an exceptional rookie and then through his MVP years. And at 26 years old, he's the icon that guys probably I can't wait to face him.
First inning opportunity for Justin Upton. It was very meaningful to Chase Utley today during his press conference when somebody brought up the fact that Trout had said he was one of his heroes. Chase said, well, I might be the best player that's ever played this game, so that means a ton. Strike one on Upton.
Well, even just watching Chase Utley on TV would make him a role model, just the way he goes about his business. And then you get to see him up close and personal during BP and weight training and on the bus rides and in the hotel as he continues to mentor people even deeper for this Dodger team.
Bueller could really use a strikeout here. He's partway there with a fastball, putting him ahead 0-2. Simmons at third, Trout at first. Upton swings to a fastball touching 97. Needed it and got it with a heater, 2 out.
I love the fact that that pitch is 97 because he's capable of hitting 100. So all of a sudden, is location more important than that extra 3 mile an hour and I might not hit my spot? And I think Walker has continued to learn that as he's been in the rotation.
I think he would admit to you that he didn't have that concept last September when he debuted out of the bullpen. Maybe didn't have it his first start or two this season. But as he's evolved, you are so right. He's harnessed it. 2 on, 2 out. Luis Valbuena in a scoreless first inning. Bueller to the plate. Valbuena looks at a first pitch breaking ball at the knees. Strike one. One and one.
One in the mid 80s. That first pitch was a curveball. That one right there at 90 miles an hour was his slider.
90-mile-per-hour slider.
Unfair.
And a 1-1. Fastball's fouled and it's 1-2.
Fastball maybe.
That's true.
That could have
93.
been a really tight slider.
Might get classified as a cutter by the tracking systems.
It's really interesting when you see the words and then you understand where they're putting them in. And I don't know. I think it'll get better and better. Maybe they'll go on spin rate or amount of break, or I don't know how they're going to do it.
He struck out Upton. Valbuena gets a piece to stay alive at 97. What should it be? What should it go down as? Should it go down as what the computers say or what the pitcher says?
Well, that's the weird thing, is that we'll sit up here and call it, and even the pitching coach will say he's got a really good slider. Then you go interview the pitcher and he goes, that's my hard curveball. Or, that's not this. And so I think we're going to come up with measurements. When a ball breaks 6 inches or inside of 6 inches to the left and down 6 inches, okay, that box is going to be the slider. If it gets outside that box, or that box might be the cutter. Outside the box is a slider.
Got him swinging. 98, hardest pitch of the inning. Gets Bueller out of a bit of a jam in the first, and a 0 in his first inning back. this Freeway series. Jock Peterson sent to lead it off, and then it's Max Muncy. Matt Kemp bats third. Cody Bellinger on his birthday in the cleanup spot with Grandal catching. Taylor at short, Tolles in center, and Kike Hernandez with a rare start at second base. Last Friday in Anaheim, Felix Pena, a career-high 8 Ks, gave up 2 runs on only 3 hits over 5 1/3 against the Dodgers.
That was the 108-degree game, so it was a tough game to see the ball. It was a hot, heavy day for the hitters, and I think they want to see what he looks like here in this natural light at Dodger Stadium with the lights on, that he can really spin a baseball.
His first pitch of the night is a fastball that tails in for strike 1 on Jock Peterson.
He's got a good live fastball, and he's also got a very good breaking ball.
That tailing fastball of his, he threw more than half of the time on Friday. And half of his strikeouts came on it. Normally it's the slider that collects the bulk of the strikeouts. On this 1-1, Peterson swings through it 1-2. Closed captioning tonight brought to you by the Metropolitan Water District of Southern California. For tips and rebates, visit bewaterwise.com. Peterson snapped an 0 for 20 slide by reaching his last 3 times last night. 2 balls and 2 strikes on him. Doubled to break up the no-hitter against Tyson Ross. Also had an RBI single and a walk. Two. Wrapped around the plate. Nope, caught the corner. Larry Vanover with a late strike 3 call, and Peterson the first out.
You and Larry Vanover, I would say you and Jock Peterson were on the same page, but Vanover was on a different one and maybe thought that one was breaking in a little more and just hung out there, kind of backed up on him. I'd be mad too if I was Jock.
1 away in a scoreless game, and here's Max Muncy. Reached in half of his plate appearances in San Diego, and then included a home run. 1 ball and no strikes. Max will be a part of a big traveling party to the All-Star game after Sunday's game. You know, normally they put the handful of All-Stars on a private plane and send them to wherever the All-Star game is, but the whole coaching staff going as well. It's going to be quite a crew headed to D.C. from the Dodgers. Kemp will be there. Of course, Kenley Jansen and Ross Stripling as well. And Dave Robertson, his entire staff. 2-1.
Looks like a night you might need to swing the bats. This zone looks pretty wide, not only outside but also down so far.
Once he chases up here, and it's 2-2. Normally Larry Vanover pretty down the middle. Not too pitcher friendly, not too hitter friendly. 63-year-old in his 25th year in the majors. On a 2-2. Muncy checks his swing, and the count goes full. The Dodgers are 8-3 in this month of July. They got off to that hot start offensively. Offense wasn't clicking on the road trip, though. Muncy hits a high drive to deep right center. Calhoun's back. There it goes from Muncy, number 22. Officially ready for Monday's Derby, don't you think?
Oh yeah, he leads the major leagues in home runs per at bat, and it's 1 out of every 7. So This is no shock anymore. We're heading into All-Star break. He's headed to the Home Run Derby, and he is a legit contender.
22 home runs for a guy who wasn't called up until late April. Matt Kemp with one out, leaves that one upstairs, and it's 2-0. Muncy anthem from the Beastie Boys and Dieter Rule. On a 2-0 pitch, Kemp lifts his hands. That's ball 3. A 4-pitch walk after the home run.
Get him in the strike zone and then scare him out of it. It happened in 2 hitters.
One on, one out. Here's Cody Bellinger on his 23rd birthday. Been swinging a hot bat lately. Heard Sean Green during the pregame show talk about how much he's liked the way Bellinger's looked the last couple days.
I was very interested in what Sean had to say about tall, lanky hitters like Sean was, and how you can go into these streaks, and it might be a pattern that he gets off the slow starts at the beginning of the years. Once he settles into his career, sometimes it takes a little longer for the rhythm to come or the accuracy of the bat.
Slaps one to left, and we're seeing a whole lot of that lately. Kemp's headed first to third. Bellinger's got himself another double.
Tall, lanky hitter with a narrow stance and a collapsed back leg. That's what he was before. Now he's got a much wider base, little bend to the knees, and he's stable. So the bat is way more accurate, and you can even see the philosophy changing on certain swings. He's not looking to hit it to the downs. He is looking to hit it solid for a base hit or a double, or maybe he gets surprised and gets a home run.
Second and third, one out. The Dodgers with a chance to put up a crooked number against Pena here in the first. Yasmani Grandal. First pitch slider misses, 1-0. We're just starting to talk about the offense having sputtered a little bit on the trip. Just 3.5 runs per game. And only 3 home runs. They're back in a ballpark where the ball was flying out of here to open this month. 2-0.
The last 4 home games for the Dodgers, they average over 9 runs a game. That's not what it was like in San Diego. And with Muncy's home run, maybe they got their home run shoes back on.
It's at home cooking. On a 2-0, Grandal swings and misses, 2-1. Here are the differences between the first 4 games of the month, which all came here, and the road trip. More than 9 per game, those first 4. 2-1, 2-2. You know, the key in San Diego, the way that they were able to win 3 of those 4 games, even though they only hit 1 home run, was because they hit with runners in scoring position. And it seems like, obviously, right? But it's a good reminder as the topic of home run reliance comes up. It's a team that's going to hit a lot of home runs. There's power throughout the order. Double-digit home run potential pretty much every spot. That's pop foul, will do it again. So the question becomes, when you're thinking long-term, you're thinking into the postseason, how does this team do with runners in scoring position? Because there's no question about the power.
I think it will continually be a focus for Turner Ward, for Dave Roberts, for the whole coaching staff. And I think it started to infiltrate the locker room more than just like, oh, it's a topic. I think it's something that they're wearing on each other about, that's where we want to really improve. And I think that's when it could get really special.
Full count.
I think there was a tremendous amount of motivation today when Chase Utley announced his retirement, that the team really will get another level of focus on the way he plays the game, and to kind of send him out on a very much of the best curtain call ever.
Here's a 3-2. Grandal walks to load the bases. Passes the baton to Chris Taylor. Already a mound visit. I think that maybe the best way to tell you what kind of legacy Chase Utley is leaving is to tell you that every single player and coach stopped their day, stopped what they were doing, and crammed into that small press conference room just to be there.
It's a visible sign of respect, and well deserved.
Felix Pena finding the go of it a little bit tougher than last Friday in Anaheim when he had those 5 1/3 innings, gave up just 2 runs, giving up the home run to Muncy. The bases loaded around him as Chris Taylor comes up. He's thrived with the bases loaded in his career in the majors. 4 grand slams. On the first one from Pena, he swings and misses at a sharp slider, 0-1.
Pena's breaking ball is elusive because sometimes you would maybe chart it like we talked about as a curveball, and other times you for sure say, oh, that was a slider. I don't know if he's trying to do that, or it just so happens to come out of his hand like that.
Went around 0-2.
I can't tell you what they look at. I've seen the gray area ones called a strike. I've seen the gray area ones called that's a check swing.
Oh-2. Another slider. This one was up, and Taylor took it for ball 1. Chris Taylor, big game yesterday. The stat line doesn't scream at you. He was 1 for 3 with a double and a walk, but some key defensive plays. Remember, he saved a run diving to stop a ball, and they wound up winning that game by 1. Here on a 1-2 pitch, he leaves it high, ball 2.
Friday night fireworks, Clayton Kershaw bobblehead, retro bobblehead tomorrow, the last game before the All-Star break. What a weekend, and they're kicking it off here with a run already and maybe more.
A 2-2. Taylor fouls it. We'll do it again. Dodgers best in the National League since falling 10 below in mid-May. And it's not even close. They're 4 games better than anybody else since mid-May. Start the day 9 games above 500 and a half game ahead of the Diamondbacks in the West. Pitch number 30 of this first inning from Pena. Taylor fouls another.
Players will downplay it. Dave Roberts will downplay it. The whole staff and organization. But first place puts a little pep in your step. It puts a little bit more focus on, okay, the work is paying off and we're here, and it's, you know, we believe in the process. Yes, we've heard that preached, and I've seen it acted out on a daily basis. But still, it feels good to get on top.
Bouncing ball to second. Kinsler, Simmons, double play. Pena able to limit the damage to 1. Coming on Max Muncy's solo shot, number 22 of the season. And after 1 at Dodger Stadium, it's 1-0. 1-0 lead to the second. Joe, Oral, and Alana. Glad you're with us tonight on a gorgeous night for baseball as this first half comes to a close this weekend. Ian Kinsler ready to lead this inning off against Walker Bueller. Couple hits against Bueller in that first inning, but able to get out of it with no damage, getting back-to-back Ks of Upton and Valbuena. .36-year-old Ian Kinsler takes strike one. 13th major league season. Came over in a trade for a couple of minor leaguers this offseason. And unfortunately for the Angels, this has been by far the worst year of his career. Muscles this one into shallow center for a leadoff hit.
Kinsler's always been one of those hitters that really never comes off a fastball, so they dropped a dewdrop curveball on him, but he's looking heater. And Bueller with his velocity still gets in on him, but enough strength to get that ball into center field.
That brings up a guy who Dodger fans may have heard of at one point. This is Jose Fernandez, who spent last season in AA Tulsa with the Dodgers. Years old now. He's a Cuban star. Spent 8 years over there, and then was caught trying to defect, and so banned from playing, and went almost 3 years really in his prime without playing a game. Finally was able to leave the country legally early 2016. Had to spend a whole year getting back into playing shape. So once he left Cuba, he went to the Dominican, and instead of doing anything baseball related, worked with a track and field coach just to get back into good physical shape. On this 0-1, he lifts it down the left field line. Jock Peterson was positioned well to put Fernandez away for out number one. Fernandez called back up today, Oral, because Albert Pujols, who is just starting to come on for the Angels, has been placed on the DL.
And I think they timed up this DL with Albert along with the All-Star break. He's been going through some aches and pains throughout the year and saying I can play through them. But I think with the DL now, they're able to like miss 3, get the All-Star break, maybe miss a few on the other end, and all of a sudden he's feeling much better and kind of gets his All-Star break extended.
Jose Briseño, rookie catcher, taking ball one in the dirt.
Talking to some of the Angel people, it's just with Albert, it's about, you know, just maintaining. And sometimes as you get older and you've dealt with a lot of injuries, that maintenance is not enough to get rid of inflammation or get rid of pain. And so he plays through a lot of pain, but he's also needing a little rest. They don't lose as many games because of the All-Star game getting in the way.
He just hit 2 home runs yesterday. Now tied with Ken Griffey Jr. 6th all-time. Pujols with 630 home runs. Next on that list is Willie Mays, 660. One of the all-time greats. A bummer that he won't play in this series this weekend. Bueller to Briseño after a toss over.
And Albert can't play, and if Ohtani's leg was better, he might be the one that was playing over there at first. If you think about coming to a National League park, you lose your DH, and those two kind of alternate there. And with Ohtani's elbow, not being able to pitch, they've probably been a little bit more liberal with playing time in the field.
Runner takes off. Grandal throws from his knees. Kinsler got a great jump and has stolen second.
Couple of veteran moves from Ian Kinsler, sitting on the fastball and forcing it out to center field in the AB, and then picking on Walker Bueller, not paying attention to him. And after this play is over, Walker looked into Yasmani Grandal and kind of pointed at his chest like, that's my bad.
So chance for the Angels to draw even here in the second. Senio takes ball 3. Pujols, one of a number of guys on the disabled list. I mentioned Ohtani's injury issues. It has just been unbelievable, really unbelievable injury luck for Mike Scioscia's team. 24 players with disabled list time, including 5 players lost to Tommy John. Most recently, Garrett Richards, who's turning into their ace. Green 2.
I remember my time in the front office and as a pitching coach, and when something like this happens with the injury bug, there's a deep examination of the medical staff and the strength and conditioning, and everybody comes forward and kind of reports in on what have we been doing and why is this possibly happening, and they try and figure out how to ways to plug the holes. But this has been an epidemic for the Angels over the last few years.
Bueller fires a 3-2. Briseño looks at strike 3 with a fastball to the bottom of the zone. 2 out.
That one lit the strike zone up, but it's the absolute perfect pitch. Just right there, catching the corner. He could have probably fought it off. It was only 97.
Yeah. Alex Pena, who's in the major leagues, been either a reliever in the National League or a starter in the American League, so just 3 career at-bats. This one begins with strike 1. Well, he's living down there, isn't he?
I'm up here shaking my head because these are Hall of Fame pitches. I'm not putting him there or putting that label on him, but boy, you throw 95 to 97 with this kind of location. That's fantastic.
0-2.
Any kind of slider or breaking ball that starts at the knee and goes into the dirt, I think he swings and misses that.
.495 right in at his hands. I don't know how he got the bat on it.
It must have been the 2-seamer, not the 4-seamer. That thing just darted across the plate. He came underneath it, kind of fell off to first base a little bit, and that thing ran up and in.
Two singles in the first, but no damage. Now Bueller trying to pitch around the leadoff single here in the second. A 1-2. And he's able to fight off 97.
And now it's getting personal. Got an American League pitcher fouling off your 97-mile-an-hour fastball. Is there an ego and you just say, I'm going to still throw you my fastball, or are you going to spin him with the top?
Stuck with the fastball, punch to first. Bellinger to the bag to finish the Angels in the second. And the Angels have had their opportunities, but Bueller slammed the door with men in scoring position. California BMW centers. Hurry in today for the BMW Summer On Sales event for exceptional offers. Details at SoCalBMW.com. And by Jack in the Box. Try the $4.99 Jack Spicy Chicken Club Combo with toasted sourdough. New from Jack in the Box. Dodgers in front on a Max Muncy home run, his 22nd of the season, and the Dodgers so far have 2 scoreless innings in Walker Bueller's return.
Yeah, isn't it nice to be home? It's like the road trip's over, the All-Star break's coming, we've got guys going there, and we've got Walker Bueller on the mound back healthy. It feels like the whole team's getting some momentum. Not only the wins in first place, but the health.
No question about it, getting Bueller back, and we've been talking about you're going to get this guy back and that guy back and this guy back as far as the rotation goes, but you're getting to the point where you have so many back that you have a good problem. You have more than can fit in a 5-man rotation.
Yeah, and if they go with the 6-man rotation going out of the All-Star break, I don't think it's a bad idea. You're hoping to play through October. You're going to be relying on a lot of those top arms. If they're good enough to be in a 6-man rotation, they're going to be good enough to be in your playoff roster. That means the workload's going to be a little heavier, and maybe you can cut back on a few innings.
Andrew Toles leading off this inning. On a short hop at first, Jose Fernandez, who's not played a ton there. He's more of a middle infielder. Makes a nice play to get Toles for the first out. Still waiting on Ryu, although a bullpen coming up soon for him, and if it goes well, he'll have another one before too long. And Ryu could be due back early on in the second half. Here's Kike Hernandez. Now, Kike Hernandez and Chase Utley, the odd couple. Couldn't find a goofier guy than Kike. Can't find a more serious guy than Chase Utley. Kike is kind of called Chase his adopted dad. And so he joked around with reporters today that you heard Chase is retiring to spend more time with his kids. So he's retiring to spend a little more time with me. That's inside the bag and down the line for Hernandez. Upped it all the way to the corner to dig it out. It was a little bit of a hard time picking it up. Hernandez content with a 1-out double. And Dad approves.
Kiki mentioned that it took him a year or two to get close to enough to Chase and really start to follow his advice, but now he has really changed his life and his career as far as preparation and seriousness about the details of this game. And it is starting to really show with Kike.
Three hits for the Dodgers against Pena, all of them for extra bases. And in a 1-0 game in the second, here's Bueller. Ball 1. What a great way Chase had about him during that press conference, and the way that he let it off, saying, hey, I know there's been a lot of speculation since this press conference was called this morning about what this might be about. So I'm just going to come right out and say it. I've signed a 5-year extension.
We'll just turn this over to Andrew now.
That would have taken the joke another step further.
And have Andrew's face go, what?
Here's 1-1. There's strike 2. Chase never the most talkative guy, of course. Had to be talked into having his farewell tour that he's going to have. Had to be talked into having that press conference today. You talk about owning the moment and being perfectly prepared as he always is. Wonderful delivery of everything he had to say. Falls into the knees for strike 3 on Bueller. 2 gone here in the second.
Number 31, Jock Peterson.
Dodgers 1, Angels nothing. Jock Peterson. Took strike 3 on a generous outside corner his first time. On a Pena slider. Pena starts this at bat with strike 1.
Change up there. That shows you the respect that they have for Jock Peterson's ability to hit the first pitch fastball and his aggressiveness. Change up's a rare thing from Pena to pull the trigger on.
Now the fastball, and it's 0-2.
This is a mental grind right here. And this is where Jock has really matured. Had a tough strikeout in the first at bat on what he considered a wide strike. Now he falls behind 0-2. I don't think he throws the at bat away anymore. I think he's going to grind it out.
Climbs the ladder and pops a fastball to the right side. Kinsler and Simmons. It's Ian Kinsler, and that's that in the second. To the third we go on a Muncy home run. The Dodgers lead at 1-0.
People would call a press conference. Just want you guys to know that I've signed a 5-year extension here with the Dodgers.
Great stuff. Dodgers in front 1-0 as this game goes to the third. Top of the order for the Angels. Walker Bueller to Cole Calhoun. 1 ball, no strikes.
I can't stop smiling with Chase's opening to his press conference, and I had already known the line and seen the video, so this time I watched Andrew.
Yeah.
Just to watch his laugh.
And it's going to line up great for Chase Utley with opening road trip of the second half going through Philadelphia. And boy, is he going to be treated well in his final series there, where he played his first 13 years and won the 08 World Series. Calhoun laid on a fastball, 2-1.
You want to hear a list? And I know everybody doesn't believe in WAR, but as far as position players, Chase Utley is the 94th best position player ever in the history of the game in WAR.
Wow.
Now here's a list of some Hall of Famers that are after him, like he's better than: Biggio, Andre Dawson, Dave Winfield, Willie McCovey, Mike Piazza, Vladimir Guerrero, Willie Stargell, Yogi Berra, Ichiro.
He's ahead of all these guys.
He's ahead of that list. So when they say he's borderline, I don't think so.
And that was what Andrew Friedman opened his comments with, saying, I think no question he's a Hall of Famer. There was nobody better in the game than Chase Utley for quite a long stretch. In his prime years in Philadelphia, as the count goes full on Calhoun. And then he ran into those knee problems, and it looked like that was maybe going to be it for him. And had it been it, maybe the case isn't as strong, but he's come back and extended his career into the end of his 30s. And had some good runs in Dodger blue. The payoff, do it again.
Well, there's no doubt in my mind that he is a Hall of Fame professional baseball player. And I mean by somebody who has attacked the game, understood the game, dissected it, played it at the highest level every moment he was on the field. And I think statistically, when they go for the votes, he should get into the Hall of Fame.
That ball's driven to deep center field. Tolles out of room. Tie game. Cole Calhoun with his 7th of the season. And on a pair of solo home runs, this Freeway Series opener is locked at 1.
Well, they've been waiting for Calhoun to figure it out. Came off the DL, changed some things in his swing, and he has gotten hot here in July. Slugging percentage up over 600, average creeping up close to 300. And he's feeling better about himself. Big smile over there.
Here's Simmons, and he yanks the first pitch that he sees into left for his second hit of the night. A home run for Cole Calhoun, his 4th in his last 11 games after he hit just 3 over the first few months of the year. You mentioned him coming alive lately. Really corresponds with him finding a silver lining to a DL stint. Basically swung himself in the cage onto the DL, trying to swing himself out of a slump, injured his oblique, but made some changes while he was on the DL and reset mentally. And he's gotten it going. Here's Trout with a man on, nobody out. One and oh. This is entering today for Cole Calhoun. Season broken into 2 parts. OPS nearly 500 points better since coming back. It was in mid-June that he returned. Now Trout in the air to left center. Got that off the end of the bat though, and Tolles cruises to it for the first out. Tied at 1 in the 3rd. Here's the cleanup man, Justin Upton, who they're hoping can do what Calhoun has done. That is take a rough start to the season and begin to turn it on. Hit his first home run since mid-June, his last time up, or his last game up against Seattle yesterday. Here he takes ball 1 low. The offense has shown signs for the Angels of coming out. 2 of those 3 games against a very good Seattle team. They scored at least 9 runs. Two and up.
Angels are going to need a lot of offense in the second half with what's happened to their pitching staff and some of the guys they're having to run out there. It's going to be very hard if they don't score a lot of runs.
Early on this year, they were scoring runs. They were right up there with the league leaders in runs per game. And the record showed that. They were in first place in mid-May. But as the offense has gone downhill, the pitch and injuries have racked up. 23 and 30 since they were last in first. Bueller's 2-1. Strike two. Somebody made a good play on that ball. It gets away from Grandal, and Simmons takes second.
Now just a spiked fastball that Yasmani thought he could pick cleanly, but at that velocity, you never really know precisely where that ball's going to go.
Full count on Upton. Bueller comes home, and he's issued his first walk of the night. Third base runner for this inning for the Angels, and they're at first and second with one out.
Walker's pitched in traffic in all 3 innings, and right here it's about damage control. Settle in, find your rhythm, maybe even get one pitch double play.
Luis Valbuena coming up, a strikeout victim his first time.
Strikeout pitchers and ground out pitchers can get out of jams. Takes a few more pitches for the strikeout pitcher like Bueller. Those ground out pitchers are keeping the ball down. You can get 2 outs with 1 pitch and end the rally in a hurry. But it's also nice to be able to throw 97 with an exceptional breaking ball and be able to punch guys out, because that works a lot better with a man on third and less than 2 outs.
There's a well-placed fastball to even the count up. Of course, the give and take to that is that the ground ball guys typically get deeper into outings with what you mentioned, with it taking more pitches to get to a strikeout.
Walker used the strikeouts to his benefit in that first inning. That's how he got out of the first and third 1-out situation.
Your first and second 1 out, and 1 and 2 on Valbuena.
And when the leadoff hitter of an inning hits a home run off you, you give up the lead. Now it's 1-1. You're starting to feel really good about the outing. That kind of sets you back a little bit mentally. And then the inning continues. The next guy gets a hit. The next guy, you feel pretty good. You take a deep breath. You got Mike Trout to fly out to center. Now you walk a guy that you feel like, you know what, I beat him with a fastball in the last at bat. Now I walk him. You got to reboot the computer and bear down.
1-2. And his 4th strikeout of the night. He would call it a slider. Computer might call it a cutter.
Exactly. The velocity is going to fake them both out, and the break is going to look like the super tight slider or a cutter. We're going to need a computer to tell us what it was.
But you only need a pen or pencil to write in K, which is the bottom line. And it's got him on the doorstep of limiting the damage here with Ian Kinsler coming up.
That's one of the exact pitches that we talked about. If you ask the pitcher, what are you throwing there? Slider. Ask the computer, cutter.
Strike one on Kinzer. Good example is Clayton Kershaw. He sometimes gets charted as throwing a cutter.
Don't ask him that.
Right.
He might bite your head off. I don't throw a cutter.
It's a slider. And you know what, Mr. Computer? If Clayton Kershaw says it's a slider,
hey, he can say to the computer, that thing's a screwball. And if you don't chart it that way, then you're a screwball.
Bueller to Kinzer. Instead, he steps off, and second time the Angels have run on him tonight with him kind of falling asleep in the running game as Simmons takes third.
Ian Kinsler picked on him and stole a base from first to second, and Andrelton Simmons right here, slow to bring down his hands into the set position with the head forward, and Simmons had noticed that rhythm, and I think he just decided, I'm going to swipe it. Dodger defense right now very deep, especially Muncy at third, so it would have been quite a throw to time it up with a moving third baseman over to third with a runner with a good jump.
It's a little more pressure on Grandal. Still confident enough to bury one, but it's a foul ball. And it's 0-2 on Ian Kinzer. They're showing signs of coming to life for the Angels the last couple of days. Singled his first time today after a 3-hit performance yesterday. And I know he's nearing the end of his career. He's in his late 30s, but enough of a track record where you still figured that it was a matter of time before he started hitting a little more. Bueller brings him in 0-2, and Kinzer fouls it off the glove.
As you get older and the tools start to diminish a little bit, a lot of hitters have an adjustment year or an adjustment half year where they finally bump their head up against that wall and say, you know what, I can't have this approach anymore. I can't have my hands here or wrap the barrel towards the pitcher quite as much because I don't have the reaction time or the eyesight I used to have. So it takes them a while sometimes to make that new adjustment to a slightly new philosophy and swing.
A check swing liner caught by Bellinger to keep it a 1-1 game. He was in front of the bag, so less reaction time, but heck, I know he's older today, but he's still only 23 and makes the play to keep it 1-1. This game, Max Muncy for the Dodgers in the first, and Cole Calhoun for the Angels in the third. It's Muncy to open the third for the Dodgers, and he takes strike one from Felix Pena as we look at his homer on our Carl scan.
Number 22, his 40th RBI of the year. And remember, it's a kind of a partial year for him, but how much has he accomplished in this partial first half?
And it is so much fun to see him enjoying every bit of it, enjoying getting recognized more frequently. That happened for the first time for him a few weeks ago. And now everywhere he goes, at least in context, people are yelling, Mad Max! Behind here, 1-2. Funky Muncy. Two balls, two strikes.
Max hit a home run on the fastball. Payne, you're thinking, well, I'm going to need to throw him a breaking ball. But with Max Muncy, he's one of the rarest guys that he doesn't chase many breaking balls. Second best in the major leagues at not chasing a breaking ball. And that gives you a lot of confidence. We've talked about this in the past few games of that this can continue with him because of his knowledge of the strike zone.
2-2. Reaches out and flips it down the line foul, showing some of that knowledge of the strike zone to stay alive.
In some ways, Pena might have to default back to the fastball. He's trying to bring the breaking ball along, but the slider has not been there for him for a strike. He's only thrown it for a strike about 30% of the time.
Another 2-2. Muncy swings and misses on an elevated fastball for the first out. Third K for Pena.
Number 27, Matt Kemp.
And up comes Matt Kemp. They've gone final in Atlanta. The Diamondbacks 2, the Braves 1, and so the Dodgers back into a tie in the division. And what is starting to feel like be a fun race between those two teams. Colorado, San Francisco, both hanging around still, both within 3 games. Kemp down the right field line. That'll slice into the seats. It is by far the most tightly congested division in baseball. At least 1 through 4. Oh, and 2. You know, it's just when it looks like the Giants are going to fall off. They rip off those 10 out of 11. Just when it looks like they get going, they go to Colorado and get swept. Just when it looks like Arizona is going to be hard to catch. Colorado takes 2 of 3 from them. Everybody kind of beating up on each other. Kemp with a bullet to left. Upton is there, 2 out.
Had some topspin on it. It was hit well, but he kind of came over the top of it and curved it down towards Upton instead of backspinning it over his head. When you think about those standings in the Dodgers scenario, they get off to a cold start in a lot of departments. They are really injured. They have to go into the depth of their minor league system and trades and find just warm bodies to take the field. But then they get hot, and then they get healthy. And so as far as the storyline and where the Dodgers are heading, the arrow is pointing up. You get into the dog days of August, the depth of this roster and the experience of what they've been through, a lot of that's going to pay off, I think. Because when the guys were hurt, they're resting and getting healthy. And when the guys were cold, they were frustrated. And now those guys are hot and moving in the right direction.
Here's the 1-1 to Cody Bellinger. He backs him off with a plate ball, too. The depth gets talked about so much that it almost becomes kind of a tongue-in-cheek thing, like a running joke. And even the people talking about it realize that it's talked about a lot. But you're right. Where it tends to show is as the season goes on, as you get into those dog days in a tight race. 3-1.
And if you do have one of those injuries again and the replacement comes in, that guy's already had some big league time. He's not coming up like fresh and, oh, this is new and different and I'm getting thrust into a pennant race. No, oh, I've already been here. I've had 30 at-bats or 30 innings. I know what this is about, and I know my teammates, and this is not a new locker room to me, and Dave Roberts is amazing, and Rick Honeycutt's great, and Turner Ward, and they kind of come in and go, I'm ready to contribute again.
Pena looking for his first 1-2-3 inning of the night. Instead, he walks Bellinger. He's been aboard both times, a double and now a walk.
Number 9, Fonny Grandal.
The MLB.TV All-Star Sale is here for $39.99. Watch every out-of-market regular season game live on demand. Your subscription includes MLB Bat Premium, allowing you to watch live baseball on your favorite supported devices. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.TV to take advantage of this sale.
Grandal walked his first time. He's up there with 2 out. And a 1-1 game here in the third. Strike one. The Dodgers and the Diamondbacks played so much over the first month plus of the season, 12 times. And then they take a break for a few months. How fun does it have a chance to be in that final month, though, with 7 games between August 30th and the end of the year? 4 of them here, and 3 on the final road trip of the year.
It's got a chance. I think there's a lot of people in this organization that hope it's not real exciting. I hope there's a spread, but it's got a chance to be really exciting.
Here's a throw down from Busenio, not close to getting Bellinger. And the count's even on Grandal. If you tend to think Colorado will be the team that hangs around, well, 6 meetings with the Rockies over the final 3 weeks. And if you're a believer in the Giants, the Dodgers finished the year with 3 games in San Francisco.
If you're believing the Giants, change the channel.
1 and 2. Grandal strikes out swinging. That's number 4 for Felix Pena. And after 3, we're tied at 1.
Happy birthday to Cody Bellinger. Turns 23 years old today, and his mom, Jennifer, posting this. 23 years ago today in Arizona during the All-Star break. That's the special gift of life came to the world. Perfect timing. And guys, I know you're going to find this hard to believe. As soon as he was born, the doctor put a baseball in his left hand. Look at the hat he's wearing. in this picture. And Cody Bellinger is not only cute when he was a baby, time now for the Land Rover Performance Spotlight. Look at what he has been able to accomplish prior to his 23rd birthday. You can see the amount of games that he's already played. The average not necessarily the same as Kemper Seeger, but look at the amount of home runs, 56, and the amount of runs driven in. There's mom Jennifer Bellinger, happy, who by the way is always at the games, not just on his birthday. Happy birthday, Cody.
All right, 1-1 game to the 4th inning. Bellinger has reached both times tonight, doubling and walking, and made a nice defensive play. Walker Bueller's 1-0 pitch to Jose Fernandez is hit in the air to center field. Andrew Tolles, 1 out.
Number 10, Jose Fernandez.
Well, perhaps some expected rust so far for Walker Bueller tonight. His first start in more than a month. Been a bunch of traffic against him through 3.
I think the fastball has been there for him. It's the off-speed stuff, the breaking balls, especially the slider has not been real good. It's not that it's not sharp or hard. I just don't think he's locating the way he wants to yet.
Strike one on Briseño.
That was one right there. Yasmani looking low and away. Let's get a nice first pitch strike, and he hung it right down the middle. This is a slider. Look where the glove is, and then look, it's just kind of a backup cement mixer. Nothing worse than a bad slider. It's like a flat fastball that gets killed. And there he tried to make the correction. You see kind of the finish and a little bit more of a spike down low. So out there analyzing and taking inventory and trying to fix it. And I think that's so much different than what we saw when he first came to the big leagues. I think the game has slowed down for him, and he's able to make these adjustments quicker.
2-1.
That was a curveball. They're not curving right now. They're not really going where he wants. That one kind of slipped out of the top of his hand. And the Angel lineup has kind of picked up on this. The hits he's given up, the 5 hits by the Angels, are all on fastballs.
That's yanked into left field on a broken bat. Peterson with a lunging catch. 2 out.
The great thing about Walker Bueller and the tools that he brings to the mound, even when he is struggling with the off-speed stuff, you still have a huge challenge to hit the fastball, even though you think it's coming, and it does come. Because of that velocity, because of that movement, he explodes that bat. Dodgers' last starter, Ross Stripling, struggled in his mind for 6 innings, but put up 6 zeros.
Pena, the opposing pitcher, ball 1.
Ross walked off the mound after recording a 6-0 and mouthed, "So bad, so bad."
Still got the win in that game. Bouncing ball back to Bueller, who's got his first 1-2-3 inning of the night on 8 pitches to the bottom of the 4th. Locked at 1.
Join T-Mobile in showing appreciation for all military by sharing a photo or video with the hashtag #HatsOffForHeroes. For each post, T-Mobile will donate $1 to support veterans.
Coca-Cola, the official beverage partner of the
behind the scenes as Kenley Jansen and Matt Kemp find out they've made the 2018 NL All-Star team. Plus, Max Muncy is mic'd up for batting practice in Anaheim. Don't miss Backstage Dodgers presented by Cadillac right after the postgame show on Sportsnet LA.
We're tied at 1. The sun is set over Dodger Stadium on this Friday night. First of 3 between these teams to wrap up the first half. Dodgers trying to get to 10 games above 500. If they do so by next weekend, they'd be the fastest team since 1955 to go from 10 below to 10 over.
The strength and potential of this team. Slow start, but they were just laying in the weeds waiting for things to click, and it sure has for them.
Taylor, Tolles, and Hernandez coming up against Felix Pena in the 4th. Taylor takes ball 1. The key at bats of this game was Taylor's in the 1st. The Dodgers had 1 in the home run from Muncy, and then they had loaded the bases against Pena, but he induced a double play. Here he tails a fastball in for a strike, 1-1.
If you could fix one thing with the Dodgers, would you fix 7th and 8th inning in the bullpen, somebody really reliable, or would you fix runners in scoring position hitting?
I can only pick one.
I think so, yeah, just because we're going to be able to possibly fix both with the current roster. But, you know, you're just, as a fan, sometimes you just sit there and think, you know, if they can just start hitting with runners in scoring position, we're going to win the World Series. If they can just find a couple bullpen pieces to cover that 7th and 8th, we're going to win it all. And you're sitting there with your buddy or your family and you're debating it. Which one are you going to pick? That's kind of fan rules, you know. You're in a debate with somebody. You're not allowed to pick a little of both. For me, it's a tough call. I can ask the old question. I'm going to go hitting with runners in scoring position. I think the guys down there in the bullpen can cover those innings. And I think if we hit with runners in scoring position, we're going to give them a little bit more room. And I think we're going to need that against the best pitchers, producing runs in those situations.
Taylor down on strikes to open the 4th.
I think it's a bigger hole to rely on the home run than it is to think that we can't cover those late innings.
So is that a veiled question about what you think the deadline move should be?
No, I was just sitting here kind of glancing out over the field thinking about we're going into the All-Star break and there's going to be some moves probably at the trade deadline, not being specific, but just thinking about the team as a fan.
Tolles hits one off of the glove of Fernandez right to Kinsler to a covering Pena to get Tolles for out number 2. This irregular old 3-4-1 put out.
3-4-1 is very rarely a double play, so I guess it is going to finally be a put out. If it's a 3-6-1, yeah, that you write that one down for double plays, but 3-4-1. Very fortunate that was a firm deflection. If that's just a little roller away from, you don't get them.
2 away in the 4th, and up comes Kike Hernandez.
Kind of let you off the hook on the question, didn't I? Because I gave kind of a broad answer.
You did. You answered, I guess.
I saw your face.
I was going to wiggle my way off the hook anyways and defer to Farhan and Andrew.
I just landed myself in the boat, threw myself in the ice, and there's a fish there. I did it.
Hernandez doubled his first time. All 3 Dodger hits have gone for extra bases against Pena. So 3 walks, but just the 1 run and the Muncy homer. It's 1-1. I think it's worth mentioning that there are several pieces coming back from the disabled list in that bullpen when you're having the 7th and 8th inning conversation.
Pedro Baez, Josh Fields, Tony Sangrani.
Tom Kohler yet to pitch this year, but he was supposed to be a part of that equation coming into the year before the injury, and they hope that he still will be. Zach Roskop just acquired. Expected to be activated this weekend at some point. Pena to Hernandez, 1-2. The deadline last year, Dodgers, of course, pulled the trigger on the headline starter and Yu Darvish, and then a couple big relief arms, and Tony Watson and Tony Cingrani, who at the time weren't really publicized as big moves. Watson wasn't having a great year. Cingrani had been having a really bad year. Both wound up being key pieces. Hernandez down the line, foul.
And hindsight is 20/20, and you know, you hear around town sometimes when you run into fans, it's like, you know, I can't believe we didn't get Justin Verlander. Well, Yu Darvish was the starting pitcher to get. And that was huge news when the Dodgers acquired him, and it was fantastic. He just had a rough World Series. But boy, that was the name and that was the body that everybody wanted.
Hernandez bounces it back to Pena. And both pitchers with their first 1, 2, 3 innings of the night here in the fourth. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by your Southern California Toyota dealers. Now with easy summer savings, get a great deal on a bold new Toyota Camry. Back in Los Angeles, Dodgers spending all their time in Southern California in this stretch. Happy birthday, Gloria. Cody Bellinger, 23. Gloria, 93, and looking like 23. Walker Bueller back to the mound in a 1-1 game. Solo home runs accounting for both runs. Muncy in the first, Calhoun in the third, and it's Calhoun to open this fifth.
It's really hard to string hits against a quality starting pitcher, and that's what Walker Bueller's going to be. And it's really hard, even if you get a few hits in a row, because they still have the strikeout pitch to get out of the jam, and that's what Walker has done. That home run, it's going to happen every once in a while. But boy, does he have great stuff that it's going to be hard to hit him often.
So Bueller opens his fifth inning of work with a pitch high to Calhoun, and it's 1-0. There's a chance this is the only start that Cole Calhoun makes in this series. He's really struggling against left-handed pitching. And the Dodgers sending Wood to the mound tomorrow and Kershaw Sunday, which is a change from the initial plan. Strike one. But getting Alex Wood on a little bit more normal rest. Get Kershaw an extra day.
We bump Clayton off of his bobblehead night. Maybe he'll have some other responsibilities now that he's not pitching.
I like the strategy. Calhoun strokes one to left center. Tolles angling over. Calhoun's done it again. And the Angels have taken a 2-1 lead.
The 6th hit by the Angels, and all on fastballs, and it has really shown up with Calhoun that Walker has not been able to really command his curve ball. That one is at 88. That might have been a changeup. I mistakenly thought it was a fastball because that's the velocity of my old fastball.
So 2-1, Angels in front for the first time, and Andrelton Simmons watches a strike drop in.
And Walker needs to get a few of the off-speed pitches working to get him off the heater. Tried to incorporate the changeup right there, but Calhoun was able to stay on it.
It's 1-1 for Cole Calhoun. The crowning moment of this midseason turnaround, his first career 2-home run game. Now this ball's lifted to left center field and deep. Simmons to the wall, but Tolles is there to catch it. 1 out.
You know, you mentioned with Cole Calhoun, it might be his only start of the series with lefties coming, but Mike Soch will have an interesting thought, because do I take a guy who's getting hot against righties and has been hot and bench him for almost 6 days because the 2 lefties, maybe he gets a pinch hit appearance, and now, or do I trust that he's getting hot no matter what handedness the pitcher is, and I play him against one of the lefties or both?
Yeah, definitely, especially like you mentioned with the All-Star break after that. You want to break, but that is a long one. Here's Trout, and there's strike 1.
Well, we've seen Dave Roberts with different guys on the Dodgers that seem like they're getting platooned a little bit more. Jock Peterson, Kike Hernandez, but all of a sudden they get hot against the pitcher that they like the matchup, but then they say, you know what, he's earned a chance to get in there full time. And maybe Calhoun is getting back to that place in the Angels' eyes.
Yeah, because he used to be an everyday player, was not a platoon guy. On a 1-1 pitch, Trout pushes one foul, 1-2. If you're wondering which day you might see Cole Calhoun, limited duty against Wood, 0 for 2 lifetime, 2 for 10 against Kershaw with a home run, but 6 Ks. So we'll see.
They might look at Clayton having reverse splits this year, or lefties he struggled a little bit more with, but that's turning around very quickly. And what I mean is turning around very quickly. If Clayton post DL compared to pre-DL, the numbers are starting to shift back to the norm for his excellence.
Yeah, lefties last 2 starts for Kershaw, 0 for 11. Trout gets buzzed by back-to-back fastballs, full count. Tills back in to get him. It's a big time pitch right there to Mike Trout.
You have fastballs that have multiple action, and he hadn't really thrown the 2-seamer down there in the strike zone. Creeps back and creases the corner. Even the best can't hit that one.
It's the 5th strikeout tonight. One of them came against this man, Justin Upton, who was also walked. Fastball to the corner for strike 1. Action in that Angels bullpen. That's Jose Alvarez. Ball, 1 strike. First start since June 8th for Walker Bueller. Back from that microfracture in his rib cage. Fly ball to center field. Playable for Andrew Tolles. And the inning is over. But Calhoun starts it with a solo home run. Halfway home in a 2-1 game.
Saturday when the Dodgers and these Angels face off again for Game 2 of this Freeway series, driven by Lexus. Get here early to be one of the first 40,000 fans to take home a retro-inspired Clayton Kershaw bobblehead. Compliments of Arco. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Going to have a pitching change before we have a pitch in the 5th inning. Dave Roberts has sent up Chase Utley to pinch hit for Walker Bueller. Mike Scioscia doesn't want the right-hander Felix Pena to face him. He'll call down to the pen, and we'll be back in a moment.
Scioscia will not get a chance to face Chase Utley, but his 4 innings were solid enough that the Angels are ahead 2-1. And coming on for him, Jose Alvarez. You can see he has been a workhorse this season with 46 games, and in one of the pieces in Mike Scioscia's bullpen that he can pretty much rely on. And from the left side, Chase Utley, on the day that he announces his retirement, will face the left-hander.
In a 2-1 game. Chase is 39 years old. And he said as his 2 young sons, who are now 6 and 3, have gotten older, it's gotten harder and harder to be away. The more that they've been able to verbalize to him they don't want Daddy to leave for work that day, harder it's gotten. Flexes the first pitch foul, and it's 0-1. So he starts to get the questions now. Do you have to go in today? Why do you have to go to work today? Impossible questions, of course, to answer. There is no right answer to a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old on that. He's taken some solace in the fact that his 6-year-old's definitely going to remember that he was a big leaguer. The fly ball on the right field line, that is going to become a souvenir, and it's 0-2. And the 3-year-old, too, is going to be to the point at the end of this season where he's going to have flashes and memories of Chase being a big leaguer, too. Not an easy thing, not an easy decision for him, but he says he is at peace with it. Just wants to go home and be a full-time dad. Starting this 5th against Alvarez, and banging a line drive to right for a base hit. Tonight, of course he did.
Morongo slow-mo cam replay, and it's really hard to slow down Chase Utley's swing. I've referred to it as hummingbird wings, as quick as that bat is through the strike zone. And you know what? His 3- and 6-year-old want Daddy to stay home, but in listening to his teammates talk about him when he announced his retirement, they want Daddy to stay in the clubhouse. They really love Chase Utley, and the Silver Fox is going to be missed tremendously when he finally takes the uniform off.
So Utley's aboard to open this 5th inning. Jock Peterson looking at a fastball down and away, ball 1. Jock was one of the many Dodgers, all of the Dodgers that crammed into that press conference room. Here on a 1-0 pitch. Looks at a strike, 1-1. Rizzo snapped this shot. Rich Hill just waking up from a nap there.
Oh no. It's a rarity seeing Kenta Maeda smile. He's always smiling.
Yeah. Ground ball right side. Kinsler goes to second, 1, but that's all. Peterson aboard on a fielder's choice.
Running into second base, Chase had to remember what year it was, so he didn't take out. He made a short slide on purpose to obey his own rule. Break, get going, and right about here in the day, he'd be going after the shortstop, but now he's slipped very early.
Simmons is thinking, man, I'm glad it's 2018. 1-on-1 out from Muncy. Followed his first inning home run with a rare strikeout in the 3rd. Alvarez comes home, and Muncy takes one a little bit low. He's had a bunch of left-handed pitching lately, and that's no big deal for Max. We mentioned it in San Diego a couple of times, but the best left-handed hitter against left-handed pitching in baseball this year. Chase is here, 1-1. Baylor guy, Texas guy, so a big football fan. He's starting to get excited for his Bears season to open up not too long from now. just low, and it's 2-1. Max played football his junior year of high school, but a couple of injuries shut that career down. Probably not surprising to know that he was a linebacker and a fullback. The 2-1. Strike two. Slash down the left field line. It's slicing towards the foul pole and just wide. Oh, give it to the kid, man. Boo.
I'm booing him too. It's right there. It's right there. Oh, you want to see it? You want to touch it? Oh, he might be trying to give it to him.
Good. I'm sorry I booed you, buddy.
See, he's getting it from somebody behind him, and he's explaining, I tried to give it to him.
He just got caught up in the moment. Another 2-2. Muncy hits a fly ball to left field that Upton settles under. 2 gone.
Right field, Matt Kemp.
Kemp coming up. Ball one. Walked his first time and hit it hard his next time up, but right at Upton and left. Top 5 in the National League on the season. Even better here in July, hitting above 400 this month. Taps it foul here, and the count evens at 1-1. And that's without him feeling at his very best. It's been, believe it or not, a bit of a grind for Kemp over the last month. On this 1-1 pitch, he hits a chopper to the hole that gets by the glove of Simmons. 2-out single from Matt Kemp, and the tying run into scoring position.
It's been well documented that Matt Kemp is outstanding with runners in scoring position. He's the best in Major League Baseball with men on base. Coming into the day before that hit, hitting .387 with men on.
Keeps things alive here for the cleanup man, Cody Bellinger. And a 2-1 game with all 3 runs coming off solo homers. Chopped gently along first. Fernandez feeding in time. Dodgers leave a couple. We've played 5. It's 2-1 Angels. Front 2-1, and it's Caleb Ferguson to replace Walker Bueller.
Caleb has found a home down in the bullpen, and he has done a nice job coming out of the bullpen. The fastball plays up a little bit more. You don't need to have like that whole 4-pitch repertoire with everything working, so really has been able to pitch well with just 2 pitches, the fastball and the curveball.
Got touched a little bit his last time in San Diego. That was after he had 3 shutout innings to finish off a game against Pittsburgh, the first homestand of this month. And Dave Roberts saying recently that this is Ferguson's role moving forward, and the young guy's thinking, wait, I got a role moving forward on the major league team? It looked like that may not be the case. He was sent back down right after his major league debut. Very rough start. Luis Valbuena to lead this 6th inning off. Ball 1. Nope, strike 1. Should have learned with Larry Vanover in that first inning. Wait him out. Waits on a breaking ball, slaps it foul, and it's 0-2. Dave Roberts said he could see Caleb Ferguson in somewhat of a Ross Stripling role from Stripling's first year in the big leagues with the team, 2016. He went around. Ferguson makes quick work of Valbuena.
That middle to long roll in the bullpen that Ross Stripling was so good at and could actually elevate himself when he was pitching well, and that was a lot of the times into some of the 7th or 8th inning 1-inning rolls. Well, Caleb Ferguson, if you can prove that you can get both right-handers and left-handers out, that's the key to that role, because you don't want to have to all of a sudden start bringing more pitchers in behind you when you're really out there to cover the bulk of the lineup.
Here's Kinsler with 1 out. Looking at a strike. Oh, 2.
The other thing about the long man, you think about it, this is a tight game, 2-1, but a lot of times it's a 5-1, 6-1, one way or the other. So when you're way down, you want quick innings out there. You want somebody who fills the strike zone up so you can get back in the game. And if you're way up, you want that too. You want somebody who's going to fill up the strike zone. And if you give up a solo shot here and there and you're way up, it's not a big deal because you're protecting the rest of the bullpen by eating innings.
2 balls and 2 strikes.
In my day, generations prior, it was kind of the landing for most young pitchers as you come up to the big leagues. You know, they ease you into the long relief role, find spots that are easy, soft landings as far as what the scoreboard is saying in the innings and the pressure.
Inside corner to get Kinsler, and Ferguson has back-to-back Ks to open his night.
This is not that role here tonight. He is pitching in a tight game at Dodger Stadium prior to the All-Star break, and Dave Roberts could go to a lot of guys, and he says, you know what, you got confidence in this young man.
Strikes out Valbuena, now strikes out Kinsler, and brings up Fernandez. Chops the first pitch that he sees to the lone man on the left side of the infield. Chris Taylor throws him out, and on 9 pitches, Caleb Ferguson with a 1-2-3-6.
same day that Chase Utley announced his retirement to be closer to his kids. How about this reunion? This has been a year and a half in the making, guys. This is Army Sergeant Brian Estrada, who has not seen his son Jaden in a year and a half. Jaden went out there to talk about the lineup cards, meet the umpires, meet Dave Roberts, meet Mike Sosha. The only one he needed to be with was his dad. A surprise reunion. Thank you so much to Sergeant Brian Estrada for your service. Thanks to the Dodgers for making this happen. Look at how happy Jaden is. What an awesome moment, guys.
Sure was. Great way to start the night. He would not let go of Dad. We saw him for another couple minutes after that, and he hadn't let go of that grip. Sanzo Robles comes on in a 2-1 game in the 6th.
He has been on a roll. Last 4 1/3 innings across 4 games on the homestand the Angels just came off of. He was scoreless. Came over from the Mets. They grabbed him on June 23rd. And the Angels have been glad to have him. He's been pretty solid since he's been in the red uniform.
Quietly, the whole bullpen has been good lately for the Angels. In July, the #2 earned run average out of the pen in the league. That had been one of their primary issues the first month or two. Angels 2, Dodgers 1, and Yasmani Grandal to lead this inning off. Swings at the first pitch and has a base hit to right. Calhoun cuts it off, holds him to a single. Grandal aboard for the second time this evening.
Yasmani with his sweet stroke right there. Fastball kind of middle outer half, thigh high, and he does not miss it. A lot of ringing base hits off of Yasmani's bat like that when he starts to swing it.
And now Taylor. Strike one. Dodgers have had the leadoff man on in back-to-back innings. They've had base runners in 5 of the 6 innings. But the only run coming from Muncy's solo shot in the first. Rides in on Taylor, jams it in the air behind first. Kinsler's over into foul ground, can't get it, and new life for Taylor.
This is a long run, and he's trying to read everything. As far as the wall, you see his head was down, then goes up, and it looks like when he goes back up to try and find the ball, didn't find it as precisely as he would like.
Let's see if Chris Taylor can put salt in that wound. Look out, the netting is there. Robles touching 98. Another 0-2. Takes this one inside, ball one. Got him.
It was like a Walker Bueller fastball, 98 right on the corner, tailed back to that edge. Outstanding pitch.
One on, one out. Here's Andrew Tolles. Couple of ground balls to first today in his first game at Dodger Stadium this year. Strokes this one foul. First game at Dodger Stadium since the horrible knee injury last May 9th against Pittsburgh. Attempting to save an Arias no-hitter at that point in the left field corner. Underwent surgery a couple of weeks after that. And the long grind to the rehab in Arizona over the next almost full year. Here on an 0-1. Watches that one just miss. 1 ball, 1 strike. Scott Alexander in the Dodger bullpen. Two and 1. We're going to have to check with Andrew, see if he got his car washed.
I would hope he just was able to get all the dust off the windshield so he could drive it and see where he was going.
Well, you pointed out yesterday, hopefully it started.
Right.
Tying run at first. Go ahead run at the plate. A 2-1 to Tolles. Strike 2. If you hadn't heard that story, Tolles left his car in the Dodger Stadium team parking lot at the end of March. Last time the Angels were in this ballpark, the same night that the pipe broke down the left field line. Tolles was optioned Oklahoma City to open the year, and he figured, heck, I'll be back before too long and just leave my car here, grab it when I come back. Little did he know it wouldn't be until July. On a 2-2. Fouls it off.
My favorite part of the story, the one you tell though, is when the guy asked Tolles, how you doing?
This was about a month ago, month and a half ago in Oklahoma City. And he said, well, not very good. Weeks hitting, Kike's hitting, Jock's hitting, Kemp's hitting.
He's so honest.
Another 2-2 offering. Andrew Tolles fights it back. Scott Akasaki, the team's all-star director of travel, lets us know that he periodically started Andrew's car for him.
I had wondered that. I had wondered if Andrew had asked the clubhouse guys or not, but Scott, being the all-star that he is and full-service traveling secretary or director of travel, it was very nice of him. I wonder why he didn't get it washed.
Another 2-2. Robles pitches. Tolles takes ball 3. Briseño finds it in time to keep Grandal put. Eighth pitch coming to the 27-year-old out of Decatur, Georgia. 3 years ago is away from baseball. 2 years ago was shocked when he saw that he hadn't been cut at the end of his first spring training with the Dodgers. Robles home with a payoff, and Tolles chops one wide of the bag. Will do it again. Watched Game 7 of the World Series last year from the stands here. Did you know that?
I did not.
Yeah, did his best to stay under the radar, but with a beard like he had towards the end of last year, that's not going to be easy. And spent a lot of the night taking pictures and signing. The 9th pitch to left field. Upton, 2 out.
How unassuming is Andrew to come to a World Series game, normal seat, and not say, is there any suite available so that I can watch it in comfort? Or, hey, can I go sit up in the press box and I'll just stand in the back? No, I'm just going to sit in a seat and sign autographs and watch the game.
You don't get more everyman than Andrew Toles. 2 out, and it's Hernandez. Power against power here. 1 ball and no strikes. One and one. Most played interleague series. 118th meeting between these teams in the regular season. Back to 97. The 1-1 pitch. Out in front of a slider. 1-2. The Angels taking 2 of 3 last weekend, and with a 2-1 lead here in the 6th inning of Game 1 at Dodger Stadium. The 1-2 pitch. Hernandez grounds one to short where Simmons waits. They go the short way. And that's that in the 6th. Dodgers baseball on Sportsnet LA is brought to you by Nissan. Choose Nissan today for great offers on our most exciting lineup ever. Shop ChooseNissan.com. Freeway Series continues as we look at our Nissan Dodger calendar with 2 more games exclusively on Fox tomorrow at 4 o'clock. And then the first half wraps up at 1 on Sunday.
Come out and see the Dodgers and the Angels in one of these next 2 games, because you won't be able to see the Dodgers at home until July 30th. They go on a long road trip after the All-Star break, so get your Dodger fix the next couple nights.
Long, difficult road trip. Open up the second half against first place Milwaukee. Not just first place in the Central, but the best record in the National League. And then they go to Philly first place. And then Atlanta, a half game out of first place. Big curve is in for strike one to Jose Briseño. David Fletcher with the pitcher's spot due next. Ready to bat. 0-1 pitch. Strike two. Rest of the series pitching matchups. It's Andrew Heaney for the Angels tomorrow against Alex Wood. And then Clayton Kershaw on Sunday. The Angels haven't officially announced. Ferguson rocks and fires. Still 0-2. The rookie catcher Briseño.
Now, the way this game started off, I thought the offense was all of a sudden going to get started again here at home. They only scored 8 runs in the last 3 games in San Diego, but still managed to get 2 wins out of it. The pitching has really been carrying them lately, and the pitching has continued to be really good here.
Ferguson rings him up on the inside corner, and he's retired all 4 men that he's faced.
Larry Vanover needs a faster computer. And now.
Pinch hitter number 6, David Fletcher.
Larry Vanover announces the pinch hitter. It's David Fletcher, the rookie who's given the Angels a boost. Orange County native, came up in early June. With 1 away in the 7th, he looks at ball 1.
Ferguson has done a number on the Angels so far. 15 pitches, 12 strikes, 3 strikeouts.
We talked about the pitching kind of carrying the team recently. Over the last 12 games, 13 games, they've given up a total of 36 runs coming into this one. On a line to right for Kemp. Two away in the 7th, and as Cole Calhoun comes up, we look at our top tier plays of the game brought to you by Arco. Without Calhoun, the Angels tonight would have nothing. Thanks to him, they have a 2-1 lead.
He picked on a fastball there, and then the second home run was a changeup to left center, clearing the wall there at the 375 mark. The Dodgers' only tally is Max Muncy's home run in the first.
First 2 home run game of Calhoun's career, which is in its 7th year now, all with the Angels. He's been extended through next season, and the Angels have an option for the 2020 year. But it's the only organization he's ever known, wanted to be there long term. Fouls it off, 0-2. Drafted from Arizona State, and then he debuted 2 years after that. Ferguson brings him in 0-2. We get a little bit of a preview for Mike Scioscia as he's making the decisions whether or not to start Calhoun against left-handed starters each of the next 2 days. Facing the lefty in Ferguson here.
As far as left-handed breaking balls, Ferguson, Wood, and Kershaw. Ferguson would have to be the least accomplished as far as the breaking balls, and that would be usually the equalizer facing a left-handed pitcher.
Throws the breaking ball here. The Dodgers have him positioned perfectly. How about Caleb Ferguson? 6 up, 6 down tonight. We stretch in a 2-1 game.
Caleb Ferguson is filling that role here tonight very well, giving the Dodgers a chance to pull back into this game. 2-1 they're down. These 3 strikeouts and then a curveball that got the final out of the last inning for a ground out. He has really settled the defensive side of the ball for the Dodgers. Now they need to get the offense going.
The lone run coming off the Muncy homer. If you happen to just be joining us, that was way back in the first inning. A couple new defenders. Fletcher, after pinch hitting, stays in and plays third, and Valbuena flips across the diamond to first. Cam Bedrosian comes into the game.
His dad was a very good closer a lot of times for the Atlanta Braves, and Cam is trying to follow in his dad's footsteps. That 3 ERA, pretty shiny coming out of that Angel bullpen.
His dad Steve won Cy Young the year before you did. Logan Forsythe pinch hitting to start the 7th, looks at ball 1. And then the first throw back to Bedrosian gets over his head from Briseño and all the way to center field. Forsythe trying to build off of, finally for him, a semblance of momentum in that San Diego series, getting aboard a couple of times. Nine 1-2 for the Dodgers in the 7th. Here's a 1-0. Fouled off 1-1. Eric Goodell. The 1-1 pitch. Generous bottom part of the zone makes it 1-2.
There he's been pretty wide and a little bit on the low side tonight, but he's been consistent on both sides.
2-2 on Forsythe. Dodgers winners of 8 of 11 in July so far. Angels gaining a bit of momentum, 4-2 in their last 6. Still almost definitely out of the playoff picture at this point. 13 out in the division, 10 back in the wild card hunt. Forsythe rockets one up the middle for a leadoff hit. Hanging breaking ball that he punishes, and the tying run reaches to open the 7th.
This one hit a lot harder than the infield single he got in San Diego, and that'll feel good to Logan. And sometimes you hit it that good, you barely feel it at all. You've hit it so solid, and boy, did this come back past Bedrosian's coconut.
Peterson to the plate, 0 for 3 tonight. Well placed, strike 1. Peterson had the 2 hits last night, but those are the only 2 in his last 26 ABs. Goes back to when he homered on the very first pitch of the game against Ivan Nova a couple of weeks ago. It's 1-1. Peterson ahead as the Dodgers trying to flip the script on the Angels from last weekend. But the Dodgers had the lead in the 6th inning or later in all 3 games, but came away winning just 1. Bullpen blowing 2 of those. Jansen in the 9th inning on Friday night. Ohtani with a pinch hit homer to beat him on Sunday afternoon. Bedrosian to Peterson, 2-1. It bounces, 3 balls and a strike. Muncy due next. Packed house looking for a reason to make its presence felt, aren't they? Three-one pitch. Peterson swings and it's at foul. It's full.
The crowds here at Dodger Stadium on Friday nights are always a little bit more wired because you got Friday night fireworks. They come in. The Dodgers have been turning around their home record here. So there's a lot more excitement in the ballpark on Fridays.
Having a great time out in the pavilion. Welcoming with open arms all the Angels fans in the house tonight. Forsythe with the leadoff single. It dives back to the bag on a bullet of a throw from Bedrosian. And Valbuena saying, easy, big fella. He just moved over here. Good lead this time. 3-2. Ground ball, base hit to right. Peterson hits first, on his way to second. Calhoun's throw offline. Double for Peterson. Dodgers in business in the 7th.
Jock Peterson gets the head out on this one. The ball's away, but he hits it firmly. And, you know, with his exit velocity, what he averages is absolutely as firm as most. And that one, even though it was a two-hopper, it was the velocity off the bat that got it through the infield.
Forsythe at third, Peterson at second, and Muncy at the plate. First pitch breaking ball, strike one. You know, Muncy, while he's had an incredible year, 22 home runs, top 5 in the league. Most of those home runs have been solo shots, like tonight. And most of them have come early. Hadn't quite had that signature moment late in the game yet. Has a chance to put the Dodgers up here in the 7th. Then an 0-1. He rips one to right center field, base hit. Forsythe in to score. Peterson stopped at third as the throw gets back. Here comes the go-ahead run. Mad Max delivers late. Dodgers 3, Angels 2.
He said he hadn't had his signature moment, but this might not be the full name, but it's at least Max because he drives in this one, and Peterson gets home on the overthrow. But that line drive into right field starts all the action. Jock's getting holed up after Forsythe scores, but then the overthrow, and Jock scampers home, and Muncy heads to second.
Friday night in Anaheim, the Angels won it 3-2 on an overthrow from an outfielder, allowing a runner to come home and score from third. Friday night in Los Angeles, the Dodgers take a 3-2 lead on a nearly identical play. Still nobody out. And Matt Kemp coming up.
A hit with runners in scoring position also,
which they have gone without before that. And now the best in baseball in these situations in Kemp. Delivered again last night with a pinch hit RBI single. Tonight, a hit and a walk. And now 7th inning opportunity. Take strike one. If you're going to throw him a first pitch fastball, you better place it right where Bedrosian did.
One of the best fastball, especially inside fastball hitters in the big leagues, and you don't expect that out of veteran players, but Matt Kemp is so strong and in a groove. Age is not showing on him.
1 ball and 1 strike. Just for scoring, the official scoring on the Muncy play, gets an RBI single. And he takes second on the same throwing error that allows Peterson to score the go-ahead run. One ball and 1 strike. Matt Kemp cuts through it, 1-2. Doesn't even budge on that breaking ball. He has chased less as the season has gone on. And if you're trying to nitpick, which you have to with the season he's having, that's the one area where Dave Roberts and the Dodgers would like to see him continue to grow at the plate. Now it's 2-2. Count reaches out, taps one past the glove of Bedrosian. Bare hand pickup, and Kinsler throws him out.
It's a check swing. You could be disappointed, but Matt Kemp feels satisfied after this because he gets the runner over. And that's a big insurance run there for the Dodgers over there 90 feet away.
Mike Scioscia coming out. The Dodgers get to Bedrosian. They lead at 3-2. Muncy at third with one gone, and back in a moment. Play is brought to you by Carl's Jr. The tempting El Diablo Thick Burger has returned to Carl's Jr. Pick it up before it's gone. We're back in Los Angeles. The Freeway Series Part 2. The Dodgers trying to win this series after the Angels took 2 of 3 last weekend. They've taken the lead 3-2 in the 7th, where Justin Anderson is summoned.
Justin Anderson made his major league debut this year, April 23rd. Started his career off with 6 1/3 shutout innings. Then was scored upon a little bit. Then had a nice long night outing scoreless streak. And recorded his second big league save this last Sunday. So it's somebody that Mike Scioscia is starting to get used to and can trust.
Brings him on for Cody Bellinger with Muncy at third and 1 out. Muncy has had his hand in all 3 runs tonight. Solo shot in the first. See Bellinger put on intention to bring up Grandal. And Muncy with a solo shot in the first. And then an RBI single here in the 7th. And the third run happened to come in as well on a throwing error from Calhoun.
Angels setting up the double play with the walk to Bellinger. You're choosing between 2 left-handed hitters. Rather have Yasmani Grandal, the catcher, up with a possible double play to try and get out of the inning, only down by 1.
And you understand it by the book, but you also like it if you're the Dodgers with Grandal swinging a hot bat. Watches a fastball, where the only thing he probably would have done with it is hit into that double play, and it's 0-1. Walk in the first, single in the 6th for Grandal. His on-base percentage is among the best in baseball here in July. A lot of the numbers said it was just a matter of time before Grandal started doing this.
Pretty wide open over there on the left side of the diamond, and especially when they're throwing fastballs away to Yasmani.
Going to stay out there. Well placed. 1-2. .98 low and away on the corner is hard to pull. Yeah.
That ground ball, even though that's perfectly placed, you might end up shooting that hole over there.
Briseño tried to pull it back, didn't get Larry Vanover to bite. 2-2. Muncy at third, Bellinger at first. On a 2-2, Grandal swings and misses, strike three. Just continue to attack with a fastball to that outside corner.
And because he threw one earlier in the count, pinpoint, Yajmani trying to protect out there, just kind of flick it off. There's another just perfect pitch. It was a really great location.
Two gone, and Chris Taylor coming up. Hitless and 3 ABs tonight with a couple Ks. Takes ball one low. Boy, what a great night it is to be here, huh? Gorgeous weather night. Packed house. Dodgers playing well lately. Providing some drama late. Taking a 3-2 lead here in the 7th. Chance for more with 2 out. As Chris Taylor takes in the dirt, Briseño picks it and saves a run.
He sure did save a run right there. That is not easy. The catcher's gloves nowadays are more like first baseman's gloves the way they act. They look like catcher's gloves still, but they fold a lot easier. That is, once you break them in.
Yeah.
At the beginning, no.
Grandal, Dodger catcher, lets the bullpen catchers use his gloves for a long time before he takes them into the game. Towering fly ball. Left field, Justin Upton. That ends the Dodgers 7th. But Max Muncy in the middle of it again, providing a moment here in the 7th with a base hit to tie it. The air gives the Dodgers the lead, 3-2. for a preview of Access Sportsnet Dodgers.
All right, thanks, Joe. The incredible baseball story of 2018, that is Max Muncy. It continues tonight with a home run, a double as well. Coming up after the game, Nomar and Sean Green in the house tonight to break it all down. Alana has reaction from the clubhouse. We'll see you soon.
I want to get a hold of Sean Green's suit guy. That is a perfectly built suit on Sean.
It helps when you have Sean's body.
Yeah.
No, I didn't say that you're. Let's just not get into it.
No. That's not where I was going with it. Here's Eric Goodell in a 3-2 game. I know exactly what you meant.
Yeah, you would have to have a bigger chest because you probably did arms today.
I actually took the day off, but I appreciate the love.
All right.
Simmons to the heart of the order here. Trout and Upton to follow. Starts him with a breaking ball that misses. And Kenley Jansen, who's pitched on back-to-back nights, season high in pitches last night, is not in the Dodger bullpen. The Dodgers perhaps without their closer tonight, perhaps without Dylan Floro as well, who's pitched each of the last 2 8th innings. So from some different guys getting forced into higher leverage spots here, and Goodell the first of them, falling behind 2-0.
The heart beats a little faster when the closer's down. For the other guys in the pen, wondering who is going to get called on. And a lot of times the manager cannot predict and tell them before the game, hey, you're my guy tonight. They usually do a little bit more matchup according to where they are in the lineup.
Isn't it funny? It didn't even take a week before we were saying, oh man, might have to deal without Dylan Floro tonight. Been here for 6 days. But he has shown something in the 8th inning each of the last 2 nights with that live fastball of his. Simmons on 3-0. Take strike 1.
Goodell has been a solid contributor to the Dodger bullpen, acquired from Seattle. Had 5 really nice outings in Seattle, but came over here to the Dodgers and they plucked him away, and he's been fantastic.
A bit of a rocky road towards late June, but zeros in all 3 outings in July thus far. On a 3-1 pitch, Simmons hits a chopper to the left side. Muncy cuts in front of Taylor, who still makes the play.
You have an offensive night like Max Muncy has. Maybe you get a little frisky over there and wander off third, or maybe a little bit too far. And Chris Taylor, not normally having to call balls on the ground in the infield.
I got it.
Taylor should have yelled a little louder.
And this is the one. Put the phones down, put the book down, whatever it is you're doing. This is the one you watch in a 1-run game in the 8th inning. Mike Trout. Curve misses. 1-0.
Mark that last out down as 6-3 over 5.
Yeah, that's not wrong. Seven-time All-Star with 2-time MVP. Takes ball 2. He's had some stretches this season where the batting average hasn't been great, and that's by his standards. It's still fine by everybody else's. But what has not wavered is that on-base percentage, which leads baseball. He does not chase. The 2-0 pitch. Swing and a miss on a fastball, 2-1.
Mike Trout's not the kind of guy when you fall behind him, you try and trick him with, some changeup down or a breaking ball down. He's got the highest slugging percentage in the majors on off-speed pitches that are low.
Fouls off a fastball. Goodell's back in it at 2-2. And the Dodgers have pitched him well over the years. Hit homer last weekend against Ross Stripling. and is always going to get his, even against the teams that pitch him well. You just hope that they don't come in the big moments like this one.
Sandy Koufax used to tell me about these type of hitters. The key is to get the guys out in front of them. They're going to get their hits.
2-2. Full count. Upton due next. Trout continually adjusting as the league tries to solve him and thinks that they find a little idea that can figure him out. And he tends to adjust back, close the holes that are exposed for a short time every single year. Rinse and repeat. Payoff pitch. Grounded foul. Figures out what he's not the very best at. Finds a way to become the very best at it. It's not finding weaknesses and making them even. He's going from good to great.
Choking up right here. 2-strike approach. Mike Trout, best player in the game.
7th pitch from Goodell, and it's flexed foul.
Two-strike approach. His swing is pretty strong still. That's not a little choke up. That's a little bit over an inch and a quarter. I don't have my ruler, but I'm just guesstimating.
It's a good guess. Another 3-2. Goodell strikes Trout out.
This is more than a battle in a one-run game in the 8th facing Mike Trout, especially when you fall behind 2-0, but coming back with a couple of high heaters that got him back in the count. Now we're 2-2 trying to figure out a way to put him away, and you spike that split, come back with another one. That was the one that Trout will say I should have hit, and the one he strikes him out on is almost a duplicate pitch.
Trout 1 for 4 tonight now. Bases empty, 2 gone. Justin Upton taking ball 1. Tries to lay off. Check down there, and so he does. 2-0. Justin Upton this season has hit 18 home runs. Most of those came over the first 2 months. He did homer last night for the first time since mid-June. Kind of hitter you got to be careful with on a 2-0. He digs it out and sends a missile foul. 2-1. Goodell against the heart of the order has fallen behind 2-0 to all 3 hitters. Able to get Simmons to ground out, battled back to strike out Trout, and now brings a 2-1 to Upton.
There's a little extra buzz for the pitchers, the relievers that are maybe not used to the role, or they know their role's been elevated when Kenley's sitting on the bench. And there's an extra buzz in the stands, and I'll bet, especially for the people sitting on the first base side looking towards the Dodger dugout and seeing Kenley there sitting in the dugout.
That's a walk. And the Angels with a 2-out base runner and a 1-run game. Scott Alexander has been warming a couple times tonight.
Well, you know the Dave Robertson, Rick Honeycutt, and the data that comes down from the front office said, you know what, the righty to go through the heart of the order late in a close game Looks like it should be Goodell, and that's where they went. And they have trusted him even with all the falling behind in the count.
Throughout this lineup, there are guys who got to be careful with in a tight game. Valbuena's struggled lately, but no different. He's got pop. Takes a curve for strike one.
That pitch sets up the whole at bat. You drop that good curve ball in. Your best out pitch is your split finger if you've got the feel for it, and you've been locating your fastball at times. But just that first pitch curveball for a strike gives you the upper hand.
There's that splitter, 0-2.
The two highest quality breaking pitches he's thrown in this outing. It's only been 1 inning and 20 pitches, but boy, awesome start to this at bat.
You're wondering about Upton over at first. He's stolen 5 bags this year. Not been thrown out.
He's a sneaky stealer. Pay attention to him, he can't go.
Outfield plays very deep. Not wanting a ball to split him. That would allow the runner at first to score the tying run. Here comes an 0-2. Ground ball. Forsythe in short right. Twirling and throwing him out. And a scoreless 8th for Eric Goodell right through the heart of the Angels order.
Wednesday, August 1st, when the Dodgers host the Brewers, we're offering $1 dogs to all fans in attendance. Buy up to 5 Dodger dogs per person per transaction. Visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Second time this year.
Look for a short line. If there's like 3 or 4 people in line, go up, get the 5, get to the back of the line, you can go back to your seat with 10.
That's correct. Andrew Toles swings and misses 1-1.
My 2 compadres up here, Rick Krajewski, who does statistics, and Joe Davis, my well-decorated partner to my left. They call that oral math.
5 + 5.
3 out of 9 is better than 2 out of 8. Went to Bowling Green, guys.
1 and 2. Bottom falls out for Anderson. Dodgers getting all 3 runs thanks to Max Muncy tonight. Solo home run in the first inning. RBI single in the 7th. Got credit for 1 RBI on it. Go-ahead run scored on that play as well on a throwing error. Tolles looks at strike 3.
That was a very accurate bender. Caught the bottom. I know why Andrew doesn't like it, but sometimes those pitches that break that sharp kind of disappear on hitters' eyes.
So with 1 out in the 8th, here's Hernandez. Taking one to the bottom of the zone for a strike. Again, it appears no Kenley Jansen tonight after he got the save in each of the last 2 games in San Diego. It looks like it'll be Scott Alexander for the 9th inning. On the 0-1 pitch. Hernandez watches strike 2. Angels have Kinsler, Fernandez, Briseño coming up. And Shohei Ohtani available to pinch hit. Hernandez to short. There's Simmons. 2 out.
Second baseman number 11, Logan Forsythe.
One of the best nights of the year for Logan Forsythe. Off of the bench to start that 2-run rally last inning with a single to center. And then a great defensive play to finish the top of this inning. Takes up, ball 1.
You mentioned that great play. A lot of fans probably wondering, what are the Dodgers doing with him out there? You know, you've seen shifts, but we're getting to the short right fielder position now, and that is an outstanding play. And you don't take a lot of ground balls out there in practice to realize where you are in time and space when you make that play and spin that far away from first base.
That's just off, and it's 3-0. You know, last year Logan Forsythe by some metrics was the #1 defensive second baseman in the National League. And he's reached both times tonight.
He's getting a little momentum. Infield single in San Diego. A hard hit ball right up the middle in his last at bat, and now the walk. Trying to build a little confidence, maybe get on a roll.
Keeps the inning alive for the top of the order in Jock Peterson. What are your thoughts on going back to that play that Forsythe made in medium short right field on the discussion about banning the shifts, or at least forcing infielders to have a foot on the dirt?
Well, that would be very interesting. I do not like the foot on the dirt. I would rather see something, if they did anything in that area, about number of fielders on each side of second base compared to altering the depth of fielders.
Okay.
Because what do you do with infield in when you want to play it in on the grass if you're going to go with the dirt, unless you just go with the exterior arc of the infield?
Yeah, I think you could say that.
But I like infielders a step or two on the grass, and the width of the dirt in different ballparks is not the same.
That's strike 1-1.
So you say, oh, you can't get on the dirt. Well, one place you might be 22 feet behind the baseline, and another place you might be 26 feet behind the baseline because their dirts are different thickness.
So that's something they'd have to standardize.
Yeah, I think it's better off if they go in that direction of trying to legislate where fielders can stand, other than there's one in foul territory, the catcher, and there's one on the mound. I like the left to right compared to the north-south from home plate
So
on depth.
Two guys on each side of second base.
In the infield, yeah. And then in the outfield, pretty much do whatever you want. But you've also then got to watch at the end of a game when a manager or a team wants to play a five-man infield and you're bringing an outfielder in. Then you should be allowed 3 on one side, 2 on the other. You only have 2 outfielders.
Yeah, if you're going to restrict the infield, let's let the outfield get weird.
Give them something to do out there. They're farther from the action.
2 balls and a strike on Jock Peterson. He watches it spin in there for strike 2. Seems like there's some momentum towards Major League Baseball trying to implement some of those things.
Seems like most rule changes in baseball are to favor offense. Lowering of the mound after the year of the pitcher in 1968. Narrowing of the strike zone. Getting it more called exactly to the rule book compared to umpires having.
It's knocked down at first. Nice play, Valbuena.
Well, umpires, really had their own strike zones before we got into the lasers, but baseball knows what it's doing because it's the most popular game and at a really great place in history right now. And now you can add him to your Dodger bobblehead collection on July 31st when the Dodgers host the Milwaukee Brewers at 7:10. The first 40,000 fans will receive an Alex Wood bobblehead presented by Emirates. For tickets, visit Dodgers.com/promotions.
Scott Alexander on to try and close this thing out. He got 4 saves in Kansas City last year, but this is his first save opportunity as a Dodger.
Scotty's been in this situation. That'll keep his heart rate down, but 3-2. Team is back in first place, or in first place. First time solo. But now that Arizona has tied them with a win, Dodgers trying to put this one in the books and get back to sole possession.
It'll be Kinsler to lead it off. They've already put Ohtani in the on-deck circle. So here we go at the 9th. Alexander just misses with the first one. Ohtani was the hero on Sunday in Anaheim with a pinch hit home run. Alexander will worry about him in a moment. Right now it's Kinsler swinging a hot bat, taking a strike, 1-1.
Scott Alexander is a ground ball specialist, and it makes it very hard for that big fly to possibly tie this game up. So keep the ball down by the knees.
That's foul, 1-2.
And he has shown in his best outings when he lives down by the knees, then he can expand that strike zone down even lower, make him hit the top of the ball and not be able to get underneath it like that one. And boy, Muncy might want to even catch it when it's foul to protect the umpire.
The 1-2 taken by Kinzer for ball 2. This for Alexander is the 3rd straight day pitching, but he only threw 1 pitch on Wednesday night, and then he only needed 13 pitches last night. Two and two. Here it comes. Bouncing ball. Logan Forsythe. 1 out in the 9th.
Scott doesn't like the location of that up fastball, but he does like the movement because it still had sink. And as a sinker ball pitcher, when your ball is still moving down, even when it's up in the strike zone, that's a good sign.
So with the bases empty and a 3-2 game in the 9th, here is Shohei Ohtani. Just turned 24 years old. First season in the major leagues, over from Japan. How good has he been? This point limited because of the elbow to a hitting roll. He swings over the first one for strike 1. Pinch hitting like he was last Sunday. He homered against Chagua to win it for the Angels.
Talk about low fastballs that are sinking. Ohtani was able to get under that shaggy sinker and gulf it out.
Now a slider, and he takes it 1-1. There's also Ohtani, who started the 9th inning rally against Kenley Jansen Friday last weekend. That's strike 2.
If he throws slider, make sure it's off the plate. You've shown him one that was close. Now he's got 2 strikes. He might start a little earlier and you can get him. Just no sliders for strikes, and they're coming inside.
Freakish athlete, 6'4", 215 pounds. Once punctured the roof of the Tokyo Dome with a home run.
That's like a cartoon.
I know. Not even to mention the fact that he throws 100. Alexander deals. Misses way wide with his slider. The count evens at 2-2.
And then you've got to mention his speed, because you're watching him up here and worried about the power, but if he reaches first base, the wheels are there, and they're more liberal with sending him now that he's not pitching with the elbow issue.
As we saw last Friday, after he walked against Jansen, stole second before scoring the tying run. The 2-2. Slash to left center field. That ball splits the gap and one hops off the wall. Ohtani with a 1-out double and the tying run in scoring position in the 9th.
It looks like he almost falls away from home plate to clear his hips, and he does kind of have that Far East type of swing where they clear the hips and look like they're bailing out, but you see that from Ichiro and some others, that's how they get the bat cleared through, and they're able to keep their heads still and still cover the plate. That was a beautiful swing.
And now it's the 8-hitter, Jose Briseño. Keep your eyes on Ohtani. Strike 1 as Briseño helps Alexander out.
The left-handed pitcher Scott Alexander on the mound. As you turn to throw the ball to home, you lose sight of the runner at second sooner than if you were right-handed. So you really have to pay attention, and I think that's what this meeting is about. Signals, keep him close. Make sure you give multiple looks if you're on the mound, so you don't get into a pattern. Ohtani's out there loosening up his legs, jogging around.
The steal in this situation would be a complete game changer with 1 out in a 1-run game.
And if he's going to go, he's going to go with 1 out. He's not going to wait for a hitter and go and try and steal third with 2 outs. This next pitch or two, you usually like to get there before 2 strikes.
Not running. Strike 2.
Now it's harder to steal because you can get a strike him out, throw him out to end the game. It's almost like the guy at the plate, you're pitching with 2 outs as far as the base running is concerned.
Alexander's ready. Here he comes. Bouncing ball gently to short. Taylor's got it. Throw to first. Not in time. Briseño legs out an infield single, and they're at the corners with 1 away.
A hard hit ball to the left center gap for a double by Ohtani, and now a soft, just a little topper. Exactly what Alexander's looking for, but hit too weakly. Chris Taylor has exceptional speed, but couldn't get to that one in time.
Jabari Blash will pinch run for Briseño. I mentioned as a catcher. Blash much better speed, now representing the go-ahead run. And as if there weren't already enough parallels to last Friday night, Ohtani's at third for the man that brought him in to tie the game. The Angels down to their final out last Friday, the rookie David Fletcher. But with a man at first, we've talked about Alexander and how good he is at inducing ground balls. You're 1 pitch away from this game ending.
Dodgers are in at the corners and double play depth up the middle. Bellinger Muncy will be coming home unless Bellinger really is sure he can go 1-6-3.
Ground ball to third. Muncy to second. A wide throw, but Bellinger gets him. And a game-ending double play. That'll make your heart skip a beat.
In at the corners, but if it's hit hard enough, they're not coming home. They're going around the horn, and Max Muncy makes that good decision. Foresight there, nice easy throw. Runner's arms go up. He tries not to hit him. Bellinger gets the wide throw, and his athleticism tonight has been magnificent at first, playing first base like a center fielder to record the final out.
And the Dodgers back in first place by themselves. Now 9-3 in this month of July. Our Lexus player of the game, pretty easy decision even before that play. Max Muncy hammers his 22nd home run of the season. He then drives in the tying run. The go-ahead run scores on the same play on Calhoun's throwing error. And he ends the night by starting a 5-4-3 double play. The Dodgers take the first game of the Freeway series. And the season series between the teams now tied at 2 apiece. For Hershiser, Alana Rizzo, and the rest of our crew, Joe Davis saying so long from Dodger Stadium. Access Sportsnet Dodgers, presented by your Southern California Ford dealers, starts now.